From this book, Practical Psychology Counseling, we will do post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. You experience an event. After 6 months of that event, you are still getting flashbacks. Yeah? That event may be very small or a big event. But if you are getting flashbacks even after 6 months, it means you are going through PTSD. If an event has occurred 3 months back and you are still getting nightmares or dreams about that event has taken root in your synapses, in your neurons, and you are getting affected by it. You are getting dreams. You are getting nightmares. Because at the back of your mind, you're continuously thinking on that. And your mind is building on that and thinking of something worse to happen in future. You're worrying about that. That is PTSD. An event has occurred sometime, maybe 10 years, 5 years, 20 years, or just recently. And there is a sudden surge of all your hormones, stress hormones, and sudden surge of emotions. Because of your emotions of increased anxiety, stress, worry, fear, shock. So you are frozen in that state. That is PTSD. Your body has a sudden release of stress hormones, and because these stress hormones were required, cortisol, adrenaline were required to fight back or fly away from that situation. So your body is accustomed to that high level of stress hormones. So you are continuously producing stress hormones. You are in a state of shock where you are creating, your body is manufacturing and circulating high level of stress hormones. That is PTSD. Whatever you are thinking now, whatever you are worrying about, so it is all your decision making, your steps in life, responses to particular scenarios. They are guided by your one event of your life. That event may be marriage. That event may be getting fired from your job, a divorce, a small embarrassing moment, or a big loss. Right? You don't need to be soldier. So typically, most of the traditional books, conventional books, they talk about PTSD is common in soldiers. No, PTSD is common in every human being. Even animals experience PTSD. Right? So we'll take that. So what are the symptoms? How to diagnose it? Then how you will counsel the client? How to talk? And what are the management steps? And actually, what healing methodologies you will use for PTSD? Who will tell which is the chapter number and what is the name of the story associated with this PTSD? So there must be a story, right? For PTSD. From this book, what is the page number and the story behind it? Title of the story. Depending on your edition, it should be approximate 96 page number. Secret of happiness is having no shade. Do you know the story of Secret of Happiness? We'll take it in next class. So PTSD is where you are trapped in your emotions, in your hormones, in your body reaction for fighting or flying away from a situation. And that same response, same behavior, same stress level, stress hormone level is maintained even after that event is gone. Yeah. You had a battle or you had a tiger in front of you. Now the event is already gone, but you are still frozen in that state. Your reactions, your responses, your decision making are based on this state. That is PTSD. Everyone, those who have emotions, they will face PTSD at one point or the other. It's a part of your life. It is okay. That shows you are a human being. What is not okay is to get trapped in it. So for that, you need healing. Okay. So PTSD, what will be the symptoms? It will have, first come to the causes. Yeah. So typical causes will be loss of someone, battle, war, civil unrest, pandemic, you are trapped in certain scenarios, getting fired from a job, losing your business, having marital dispute, infidelity by spouse. So do you know that once the spouse conducts infidelity, you will always be suspicious on the spouse. where you are going, what are you calling, what are you chatting. Yeah, everywhere. If your spouse does not answer one phone, you're suspicious. Basically, it is PTSD because of their action. You are suffering. And if you decide to divorce, you will not be able to trust the next person now. You will not be able to trust yourself. Near death experience, you were involved in certain accident or something, or some medical event. Any kind of abuse, either a physical or any uh, traumatic abuse or any accidents. So these are the typical causes of PTSD. But there are people who go through these events, but they don't develop PTSD. There are people who go through these events and develop some PTSD for some time and get healed early by their own or probably because of certain help. There are people who get stuck in PTSD for a longer time. So there should be some risk factors that differentiate these three kind of people. So what are those risk factors? Number one is your education. Number two is your economic status. It matters. So those who say money doesn't matter, tell them if you have PTSD, your money matters, my dear. The third is social status. The fourth, social support or we should not call it a support, or we should call it a social circle, which include friend, family, and acquaintances, where you can go and meet and relax. It doesn't mean that you can go there and start talking about your problems. No, just the some event of social event, meeting people, which releases your oxytocin, because oxytocin is a powerful anti-stress hormone. It is said that being statistically, being female is a higher risk factor for PTSD. Yeah. But then people start thinking males don't go through PTSD. Males also go through PTSD. I think more males. Probably more females suffer PTSD, but males, they have higher intensity. Yeah, probably. Because females, they have a natural, uh, some kind of power to come back out of some traumatic event. But males, they don't have that power. So they suffer more actually. More number of females suffer, but those who men suffer, they suffer a lot. Yeah, and they suffer longer time. And probably because of certain responsibilities and all, they tend to take help later. And because remember one thing, if someone has some event and you do not work on healing that event and start getting involved in certain things, either a business, work, or education, and without healing that event, that is not good. That is going to come back as volcano. So if you have a fight remaining from the morning, don't delay it till tomorrow, because tomorrow volcano is going to erupt. So finish it today only. So tonight you use the pillow and finish that fight once and for all. What are the symptoms a PTSD patient will typically complain of? So typical, even if the event has occurred 6 months back, they are having 6 months in future, they are still having the flashbacks. 3 months in future, they are still having the nightmares. All their responses, their decision making, their reactions are based on that event. They are always anxious, always afraid, right? So they are always stressed out. It's not necessarily that they will appear in a shock state always, but they're always stressed out. Flashbacks, nightmares, intense experience or unpleasant memories, images, or thoughts, emotional or physical distress. So sometimes people start having physical pain. Do you know that some people who have some traumatic event, after that they develop autoimmune disease, after that they develop cancer, their fertility is affected. So that, and they start working on these things. The trauma is the major cause. The trauma is trapped in the body, right? Someone may have a gene of cancer. If there are two, if there are twins, so both have cancer genes in them, one will demonstrate or exhibit the cancer full-fledged at a later stage. One will exhibit early. Now, this exhibition of early cancer, it depends on how much trauma is trapped inside your body. Another example, if there is a couple who are loving and everything, and they have been staying with loving actually, not fighting, since more than 20 years, and if one person dies, there is a 50% chance that other person will die in next 12 months. There is a 75% chance that other person will die in next 6 months. It's a big ratio. So that's a huge traumatic event for them. So at this stage, they will either develop some heart disease or something, or stroke, or cancer, or autoimmune disease, or they will die of so-called natural death. Now, once any client has PTSD, so they typically start developing some coping mechanism. So coping mechanism can be negative and positive. So negative coping mechanism will be promiscuous behavior, multiple partners, binge drinking, binge eating, risk-taking behavior, or getting into shell, absolute avoidance of the world. The positive coping mechanism may be avoiding certain place, avoiding certain person, avoiding certain scenarios. Though it is not good, but we are calling it positive coping mechanism because at least they are not hampering your health. Now, most of the symptoms the client will represent as, those who have like anger issues, they call themselves anger issues, they have PTSD actually. So they are irritable all the times because all their behavior reactions are guided by that one event. So if you find someone who is extremely irritable all the time, they are having difficulty concentrating, they are isolated from the world, and they have sudden burst of anger. You know what is a diagnosis. If you have someone surrounding you who says many times, leave me alone, you know what is their diagnosis now. I hope you are not that person who says that. Yeah. Don't be that person. If you are that person, don't worry. You have the support available. You can WhatsApp me. If you are a student of psychotherapy, I will allocate someone from my team. There is no charge for you. If you're not a student of psychotherapy, but only present course, I will allocate a counselor to you. She will charge you. If you just attend psychotherapy Sunday classes, then you don't need counselor actually, because attending the classes itself heals you. Because that in Sunday classes, I do the demo of the methods. And when you watch those demos, that experience itself heals you. And you learn the skills to heal others. So now the PTSD has occurred. There are always going to be some trigger events, trigger factors. Okay, particular things happen, particular thing not happening, or certain place you visit, certain person comes in front of you, certain event is happening. Yeah. So the event is the marriage, and the person who comes in front of you, you know that person. As soon as that person comes, there is a trouble. There are symptoms. Yeah. Symptoms of worrying, thinking, sweating, palpitation, getting angry, getting on your nerves, all those things. Increased blinking, then some body ache, stomach upset. Everything has a pain except hair and tongue because that weapon you need to use for fighting. Fatigue, even despite so-called good sleep, not able to focus. So these are typically the symptoms in the adult. What about children? So children may not be able to speak, may not be able to talk, but a child who had a bathroom training and was able to not wet their bed. Suddenly, after a few years, they start bedwetting. This is a serious case. Don't take it lightly. This is not a matter of pediatrician anymore. This is a matter of psychotherapist now. So you need to investigate what is that event which has occurred. It can be very traumatic. It can be some small event, but it needs healing now. It can be a bullying. It can be abuse. It can be certain other trauma. So it needs healing and at early stage. Don't wait for your trauma to become hardened. The child may have nightmares. Suddenly the child has separation anxiety. Suddenly the child becomes clingy, not going to school, not allowing you to go outside home. Not good. Something is wrong. That something may be wrong at home itself. Yeah, you have to be careful of the relatives, the maids and everything, right? Don't trust female maids also. So children may also, in case if it is a abuse, children may exhibit low self-worth, fear, sadness, isolation, or aggression, or they may get into promiscuous behavior, self-harm, alcohol or drug abuse. So how will you diagnose PTSD? PTSD will always have first the symptoms, irritability, anger, mood swings associated with flashbacks of that traumatic event. Flashbacks or the nightmares. And there will always be a traumatic event that they remember that has happened. So the trauma is of three types. One is which the client has forgotten and deep buried inside. So you don't need to touch it. The client has already moved past it. So that is not causing the PTSD. The second is the client is using that traumatic event to channelize their energy to grow further. Right? You were called a dumb student, you started studying better. You were called a failure, you started working hard. So they are channelizing their energy to work better. The third type of event, traumatic event, is trauma is where that trauma is affecting your present life. That is causing you symptoms, problems. That you need to heal. So clients will always remember this event. So PTSD will have symptoms, it will have flashbacks or nightmares, and it will have defined traumatic event. Right? Now, how much time the PTSD takes to heal? It may take lifetime. So a particular person may be living their PTSD throughout their life. They may be living their normal life. They are going to the work, they are earning money, they are having relationships. But deep inside, they are suffering. That suffering may be emotional or physical. Two types of suffering. So physical suffering, maybe they develop some autoimmune disease, cancer, infertility, some other joint pains, chronic pain, back pain, something pain, migraine, not defined, right? Or they may have emotional turbulence. So the emotional turbulence may be continuous fighting, not trusting others, not trusting self, always on the nerves, always irritable, having anger issues, having mood swings, always in a state of panic, hyper anxious. Sir, when is my exam? When is my exam? Have you received the book? No, sir, I just joined it. Yeah, so you're worried about the exam. First, worry about whether you got the book. Sir, I received my book. How? Yeah. So those person, they don't study at all. They are always anxious, anxious, anxious. Relax. Yeah. In the pursuit of the end goal, do not forget to enjoy the journey. In the pursuit of finding the end of the rainbow, do not forget to enjoy the rain. The object is to enjoy the rain and see the rainbow at the distance. The object is to not run at the end of the rainbow. So enjoy your journey. Now, what will you do with the client of PTSD? The client has come to you and now you are going to talk to the client. So number one step is you tell the client that whatever you are going to disclose to me and tell me, I will keep it confidential. I will not disclose with others. You can tell me very comfortably. I will not judge you. I will not validate or invalidate you. So they are afraid that you will judge them because they are behaving stupid or they are behaving irrational. They are aware. So it means they are aware of their actions that they are irrational, but they are forced to behave irrationally because of that event. So this is the difference between schizophrenia and this. You know, how do you know that someone has schizophrenia? They will also have hallucinations. Yeah. So obviously PTSD does not have hallucination, but they have flashbacks. And that flashback looks very real. Yeah. It feels very real, but they know that this is flashback. Right? A hallucinating person in schizophrenia, they also see something. They also have kind of flashbacks, but they do not know that this is a flashback. They think it is real. Right? And schizophrenia person will not agree, will not acknowledge that they have some problem. Right? If someone is acknowledging you that, yeah, I think my problem is embarrassing or I don't want to tell you. So it means at least they don't have schizophrenia. So that's a good start. Number two, you start taking their history. When you're taking their history, do not write the notes. You understand, engage in discussion, ask the questions. You should remember the name of the people in the stories, the relations in the story, what is happening, which event, approximate which timeline, all those things. You should remember that so that next time you can talk to the client based on this story. Listen to them. When you're listening, do not just listen and do not write notes. Listen, ask questions, engage, understand. Then they will open up more and more. Right? Next 2, 3 sessions are going to go into the history taking, listening to them. So when we are doing that, identify 3 things. One is, what is the emotional turbulence they are facing presently right now? Number 2, what is the trigger factor? And number 3, what was the event? What was the traumatic event? Right? Now, and every time when you are doing this history taking and counseling sessions, you do certain exercise with them, simple exercise as a counselor. If you are learning psychotherapy from me in Sunday classes, then you will learn to make a 10-session healing plan for them, where you can heal them completely and permanently. Right? But when you are, if you are learning the present program, psychology counseling, you can counsel the client in the following ways. Right? So one is the history taking, understanding what is it. When you are taking the history, do not say that, oh my God. Yeah. So don't invalidate. No, no. So don't invalidate them. Don't judge them. If someone says that I feel afraid because of this thing, don't say, no, you are not a child to feel afraid. They are feeling afraid. Nah, that is they know their story. So you have to understand that part and acknowledge it and accept it. So don't invalidate their feelings. The second is, the best part is to do breathing exercise or teach the client to do breathing exercise. Now, someone who has PTSD, even if you tell them to do breathing exercise, they are not going to do it. So you ask them to sit in front of you and do it. If you give them some CBT worksheets and you say that, fill this, what is your problem? Why this problem? What is your symptom? And you tell them that you are thinking in this way, you stop thinking this way, you start thinking this way. Cognitive behavior therapy, right? It doesn't work for them. Yeah. They don't have that willpower. They don't have that energy to do it. They are client, they are patient, they are emotionally turbulent. They are lost their control. If they could think in proper way, they would not come to you. So don't tell a client, no, you stop thinking poor, start thinking rich. So that doesn't work. So don't give them assignments or worksheets. So whenever the client comes to you, you talk so that they unburden themselves, they are able to talk, and you tell them what they should do next. The most powerful method to do next is the breathing exercise. Simple. Right? There are 2 breathing exercises we should learn for PTSD client. Simple breathe in and breathe out. So breathe in for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out for 1, 2, 3, 4. When you breathe in, your stomach should come out. And when you breathe out, your stomach should go in. You will breathe in with nose and breathe out with nose. Okay. So it's basically 4 and 4. You want to do it now? Yeah. Yes. You're married and have PTSD? Okay. No problem. Okay. Your spouse has PTSD. Very good. I like you. I'm proud of you. Very good. Yeah. Your husband is saying yes. It's okay. I understand. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you are doing same equal breathing, breathe in and equal breathe out. You are breathing with nose, breathe out through nose. When you breathe in, your stomach should come out. This itself calms a person down and allows them to speak further and tell further story. When you acknowledge the problem, when a client acknowledges that this is a traumatic event and this is a problem, so 20%, 30% of their problems are already solved just by acknowledgement. Now, the next type of breathing exercise is 3-5-2. Or before 3-5-2, we can do one more. We can do the rectangle breath. Okay. So for rectangle breath, we take You Are My Galaxy painting and breathe in, breathe out. So what we first understand what we are doing, we are breathing in with nose, breathe out with nose. When we breathe in, your stomach should come out. When you breathe out, stomach should go in. You are breathing in more. and you are breathing out less. So you are returning the carbon dioxide. This gets converted to bicarbonate in the blood and it further stimulates your vagus nerve. It further stimulates your parasympathetic system. What is the problem in PTSD? That sympathetic system is hyperactive. High heart rate, high respiration rate, breathing is shallow, then dry mouth, irritable stomach, irritable bowel, acidity, reflux. These are all dry skin. These are all symptoms of sympathetic system hyperactive. That is a problem in PTSD, right? It's a chronic condition. So what we need to do is we can activate parasympathetic system by simple exercise, which retains carbon dioxide in your lungs, which gets converted to bicarbonate in blood. So you will breathe in more, breathe out less. You are breathing more oxygen, breathing out less carbon dioxide. So you are creating a positive retention of carbon dioxide. Start, do it. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Slowly now, breathe in, breathe out. When you breathe out, do not empty your lungs. Retain some air in your lungs. Breathe in, breathe out. If you do it 15 times, the client will feel the urge to take a deep breath by themselves. That is the start of their parasympathetic system getting activated. Their vagus nerve is activated. It will decrease their heart rate, lower the respiration rate, increase the depth of respiration, saliva secretion, the mouth becomes wet. If you do it regularly, your stomach problems, intestinal problems are solved. Yeah, the skin starts glowing back again. The appetite is restored. If you do it every day, your sleep cycle is restored. This is a simple and very powerful exercise to do to cut your sympathetic system. That is the problem, right? Hyperactive sympathetic system. Now, there is one more breathing method, 3-5-2, which is my favorite. And it works for almost all emotional troubles. 3-5-2 is you breathe in for 3, 1, 2, 3, hold for 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and breathe out for 2, 1 and 2. Remember, you are breathing in 3, you are holding more than that, and you are breathing out less than what you breathe in. 3-5-2. So you are developing more, you are taking up oxygen and you are so you are developing more carbon dioxide and you are exhaling less carbon dioxide. So this is creating much more positive retention of bicarbonate. And this is more powerful to cut your sympathetic system and activate your parasympathetic system. Right? What is sympathetic system and parasympathetic system? We'll take it shortly. Yeah. So first we do this breathing exercise, 3-5-2. When I count 1, 2, 3, you will breathe in. When I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you hold. And when I count 1, 2, you slowly breathe out. When you breathe out, do not empty your lungs. Do not breathe out like this. No. So breathe out little bit and retain air in your lungs. Okay. When you breathe in, your stomach will come out. When you breathe out, stomach will go in. You will breathe in with nose and breathe out with nose. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. One more time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. One more time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Slowly, you will reduce the speed of count. If you do it 5 times, you feel so much relaxed. It is a good idea to do along with the client, or as I demonstrated, you can do with your hands and the client will follow the steps. You can do the demo 1 time, 2 times. This is a very powerful method to do it. In the book, I have mentioned one more method, 4-7-8, to induce sleep. Now, the problem of PTSD people is that they are so much trapped in uh, activated sympathetic system, such high level of cortisol and adrenaline, they are not able to fall asleep. So for that, this simple 4 in, 4 out, or rectangle, or 3-5-2 works best. Even if it does not work, if it does not work, then you can go for 4-7-8. 4-7 is difficult to do. Yeah. So you have to breathe in for 4, hold for 7, and slowly control your breath to release till 8. It is difficult actually. Holding breath is easy, but controlling your breath to release slowly till 8 count is difficult. You can try it today before you sleep. Someone who has migraine or frequent headache, they should not do this. Someone who has ear infection or nose infection should not do 4-7-8. So the best and the safest is 4 in, 4 out, rectangle, and 3-5-2. Yeah. Now, many times people have like traditional conventional books, they have mentioned about exposure therapy. So what is exposure therapy? There was an event and you expose the client to the same event or similar event so that they can get habituated to that. So what is the assumption here? That client will follow all the sessions. The client will not drop out. That is the number one assumption. If you have decided 15 sessions are required, 15 sessions client will follow. Client may drop out. Yeah. And the second assumption is that exposure will heal them. How do you know that exposure will not worsen their problem? So from where this exposure therapy comes? So it comes from the allergy. So those people who are allergic to certain things, pollens or something, so what doctors do, they expose them to smaller dose of same antigen. And assumption is over the time, their immune response will be weaker for that same antigen. So then someone thought about it similar and he decided to introduce exposure therapy. But exposure therapy comes with a lot of problems. When you start the exposure therapy, initially client will have sudden surge of all the emotions, all the traumatic event, all this, everything will come back. And client will drop out most of the times because they don't want to expose themselves. So exposure therapy works on someone who, yes, even if I die, I'm going to expose myself. Yeah? You are afraid of height? Go do bungee jumping. You are afraid of fire? Go become the Joker in the circus who plays with the fire. You are afraid of elephant? Yeah, go ride the elephant. Not stupid here. Not going to work. Yeah. So exposure therapy works on someone who is extremely strong willpower. If someone is extremely strong willpower, they are not going to have PTSD. And they are not going to come to you, pay you money. And no one is ready to pay you money to feel bad, to have some emotional turbulence again. And if the client goes for exposure therapy 1 or 2 sessions instead of 15 sessions, they drop out after 2 sessions, they will have loose ends of the memories. The old traumatic event is fresh now. All the images are fresh now. So you have destroyed that one life completely. So don't do it. So what we can do for the client? So one of the method for the client is the breathing method plus the talk therapy, counseling. The third, which is more powerful, is experiential psychotherapy. What you do in experiential psychotherapy, you identify what is the type of the trauma which the client has moved forward, the trauma which is channelizing the client to do something good, the trauma which is affecting the client presently, causing emotional turbulence. So you try to identify which is the traumatic event, and you want to how this trauma is stored. All the events they are stored as images in your brain, right? And those memories which are stored in your brain, they are stored as synapses. Because the particular synapse is formed, the stronger the memory, the more long duration the memory is, the event is, stronger the synapses are there. More number of synapses are there. It's like there is a forest. And in the forest, those who are fresh are grasses, shrubs, small plants. And the long-term memories, long-term things are the big plants, huge trees. Now, all these your synapses, they are guiding you how you respond in the particular scenario. The trigger factor, particular event happens, or stimulus happens, and you are responding it. So this stimulus is This is decided by your synapses. If you want to change your response, you need to change your synapses. So you are trapped in one particular method of taking decision, or your ritual, or your reaction, response. So to change it, you will need to cut big trees. That's very tough. So you need help. You need some tools. If it is a fresh event and you need to just clean your grasses and plants and shrubs, that is easier. So what you will do is experiential psychotherapy. So the concept of experiential psychotherapy and neuroplasticity, right? So what is neuroplasticity? So these events or your habits, rituals, responses to the trigger factors, they are stored as synapses. So when you do neuroplasticity, it is certain methods in psychotherapy which you do that causes neuroplasticity. Your synaptic connections changes. So you respond differently. For in experiential psychotherapy, you learn how to erase traumatic memories, how to replace traumatic images with good images, how to increase your emotional bank balance. What do you need for a PTSD client? So they have low emotional bank balance. They have flashback of bad images. They have some bad memories stored somewhere. So at all 3 points, you are working in experiential psychotherapy. Now there are certain medicines, yeah, which a psychiatrist may recommend. So now every medicine comes with a side effect problem. So the problem with all psychiatric medicines is that the beneficial effect, it takes around 3 weeks. Slowly, the beneficial effect will start after 3 weeks and it will reach plateau. Once it reaches plateau, you need to increase the dose. But the side effects start from day one. And then side effects slowly decreases. And by the time you are reached at the point where you need to increase the dose, again the side effect will increase. And you cannot take medicines for lifetime because of these side effects. You are living, you wanted to get rid of your PTSD, but now you have become zombie. You're sleeping 18 hours. Or you are having something else. Not a good life. So there is going to be a point where you need to wean off your dose. Preferably, you want to avoid medicines as long as possible. A psychiatrist will always try to avoid the medicine as far as possible. So they will always weigh what is the risk versus benefit. Okay. So if risk versus benefit, the benefit is more, then only they give the medicines. You don't need to remember the name of the medicines, but you should know if you are interested for that. You should, as a counselor, you should know the side effects, the medicines, all those things, so that if already a client has visited psychiatrist and they are taking medication, you can explain them this chart. Okay. So that they continue the medicines as long as their psychiatrist is telling them. As a counselor, you will not intervene and stop the medicines. That decision is with the psychiatrist. Your role is to counsel the client to tell them that all the medicines they come with benefit, side effect. So your psychiatrist has decided benefits are more in your case. But if you only take medicines, so you may get better in next 2 years or 3 years, or maybe something like that, 1 year. But if you take medicines along with my counseling sessions, that time will reduce by 50%. If you take medicines along with counseling and my psychotherapy sessions, the time will reduce to 25%. Right? So it's a worth investment. What are you affected presently? You are not able to earn sufficient money. Your relationships are not good. You are not productive member of the society. You are not feeling happy. What is the cost of this in terms of money and in terms of the duration? So do you want to save few years of your life? Instead of 2 years suffering, you want to suffer 3 months, 6 months. Come to me. If you are losing money, what is the cost of your suffering for next 2 years? If you don't want to lose so much money, if you don't want to suffer 2 years, invest your money in paying my fees. In next 10 sessions, I will heal you completely and permanently by using psychotherapy methods. Your 90% problem will be solved. 10% remain good. It's okay. You don't need to heal yourself completely permanently. Life is not perfect. You don't need to open up every page and make every page completely wrinkle free and iron it. No. What you need is a crumpled piece of paper, open it and iron it little bit so that it becomes a part of your book. Yeah, it becomes a part of your notepad. So if you like this notepad, I will send you. Huh? So this is one of my painting, and then there are other notepads also. Yeah. Small also. So I send this typically as gifts to those who are good students. This, you are my galaxy painting, happy couple, happy life. Life is happiness. The name of this painting is Life is Happiness. What? Oh, okay. So the painting has been cropped. So that's why you cannot see the couple. Otherwise, there is a couple here, here, here. Outside this painting, they are standing. There is a couple and there are the two children. Okay. So in the book you can find it. Yeah. So the complete painting is in the book. So this couple and two children fishing. Yeah. Then this is walk in the garden. So the same painting is the part of letter to student book. So letter to student book is for building stronger emotional bond between parents and children. Whatever is your age, you will find this book useful for developing your bond with your parents and for developing your child's bond with you. Buy it, read it before you run out of options, before your child becomes uncontrolled. Sometimes, some mothers, they talk and they say that, sir, my teenager is out of control. Yeah, the time for that is gone. You are not developed a trust when the child was young. You are not done certain things. And you have done certain things which you should not have done as parent. And you were not a good parent. Probably you were a good parent, but your parenting style was wrong. Probably you did the same thing what your parents did with you. So your parents said you were a bad adult, bad teenager. So now you are saying your child is a bad teenager. Yeah. Uh, Either you have a bad teenager or good teenager. At least you have someone to trouble you. That's a good thing. You know? Teen Duk Labo. You remember the story of Teen Duk Labo? So it's better than Teen Duk Ma Labo. Those who do not remember this story or have not heard from me can watch the recording from my channel. So there is a playlist called Stories. Or you continue to attend the classes and you will hear the story. Now, this PTSD people, they are at high risk of death. Death, actually. Yeah. So they are more likely to die, or they are more likely to die at a younger age. That death may be because of an accident, maybe autoimmune disease, a cancer, heart disease, stroke. Okay. There is something called broken heart syndrome. A couple who has been in love for a long time. I'm not talking of college and teenagers love. Okay, I'm talking of love during and after marriage, which will include some fights. Absolutely okay. But a couple who has been there since more than 20 years and so, if one person dies or one person commits infidelity after that, then the other person will develop broken heart syndrome. It is not only an emotional condition, it is an anatomical condition. When you do 2D echo of this patient, you will see the heart looks broken actually. Yeah, heart looks not good. And this person has 50% chance of dying in next 12 months. Very bad. Yeah. From page 104, you will find what a counselor should tell the client, what you should avoid during your conversation with the client, and what you should talk. What is more important is, the client has event, the client is suffering, the client has PTSD. You know that, okay? But it is your duty to tell the client that it is PTSD now, okay? The client should be aware that they are going through PTSD. So they can use their willpower, whatever willpower, 10%, 20%, 50%, to cope up with that. You tell them that there are going to be negative mechanisms, coping mechanism, and positive coping mechanism. So choose positive coping mechanism. And if you're already negative, come to me. I will try to help you to convert to positive. That investment is worth enough. So educate the client about PTSD, then tell the client to find some purpose in their life, the mission of their life. Okay, you are a good person, you had a traumatic event. Why? God wanted you to suffer so that you can convert your trauma to the mission of your life to help other people, to develop something new, develop something better. So work for us some cause. Okay. Finding some similar group of people who start gossiping about something doesn't help. Okay. So many traditional books, including my book, also talks about finding a support group for PTSD. Support group doesn't mean the other PTSD clients. So they're also, you know, suffering. No one is interested to hear your story other than a counselor who is paid by you. Yeah. They are only interested to come there and talk about their problems and what next. No, it doesn't help. Support group means it may be a few friends, your spouse, children, parents, siblings, workplace, whatever. That doesn't mean you go there to these people and always keep crying and about everything. No. That means you try to find some inspiration from them. So it's basically support group means a company which from where you derive your inspiration and motivation to convert your pain to mission of your life. So this book is a good company. Yeah, you read this book one time, you will find something. You read this two times, you will find something more. And if you want to find the mission of your life and better relations, read this book, Letter to Student. Doing breathing exercise daily, we have covered two parts. Breathing exercise daily. So preferably with your support because they will not do on their own. Then doing some aerobic exercise, maybe a walking, gardening, swimming, whatever they can do, whatever they can afford. Don't ask the client to join a gym. Don't tell them to go on vacation. It's very huge cost. And once they come back from vacation, nothing happens. Same problem. And joining a gym does not help you. You have to actually exercise also. So paying money for the gym doesn't help you. So the exercise which you can do at home, that is the best way. And someone who is not doing exercise at home or doing aerobic activities, they are not going to do anything. Whatever is your hobby, force your mind to try to find and do it again. Music, writing, poem, singing, painting, what sculpture, whatever you like. Sleep well. Yeah. So whenever you sleep, every time you sleep, you lose some part of your memory. And that is objective. If you cannot sleep, if you're not losing the memory, that is what is causing you PTSD. So that's why what we do in the experiential psychotherapy is we erase some part of their memory by certain methods, you know, which is taught in Sunday classes. We do certain activities that cuts their cognitive function from the subconscious mind. So there is a cognitive mind where your memories and all those things are stored and your reactions are stored. And subconscious mind where your deep memories are stored. So what we do is you cut the subconscious mind from conscious mind by using one of the method called down the staircase. I will try to change the network. Is it better now? So after suffering for 1 hour, you are telling me, you should have told me earlier that network is not good. Actually, it's thunderstorm and rain and everything. Questions. Before we move it, please ask questions. Please ask questions if anyone has. Now, sometimes the PTSD clients can uh, now sometimes the PTSD client can uh, have uh, loss of memory of that particular event, how the event happened. That event is so traumatic, their mind doesn't want to remember that thing, right? So they want to forget it. So they will have bits and patches of memory. Now, these bits and patches of memory, they cause flashbacks. That is more troubles because they try to bury their trauma and it became so stronger and intense that slowly it has grown into trees over the period of time. When it is fresh, it is grass, then plants, then trees. So now to cut the trees, it's very tough. Now the trees have overgrown the forest. They are leading to shadow and they are preventing the sunlight. So other things cannot grow. New memories cannot grow. New experiences cannot grow. You go on a vacation, you still have flashbacks. So you cannot absorb the new experience. You cannot enjoy the new experience. PTSD people, they typically have intense negative self-belief or intense negative belief for others. They may have low self-esteem. They may have imposter syndrome. They have distorted reaction of fear and anger to things. Some event is there, some trigger factor. The anger should be this much, they will exhibit this much anger. Some trigger is there, they should have this much fear, they're exhibiting this much fear. They feel detached from other people. Yeah? Not able to enjoy the positive emotions, not able to enjoy things which they used to enjoy earlier. Not able to get into relationships again. If that PTSD has happened because of some traumatic event in the relationship, either a betrayal, infidelity, marriage break, or whatever, then they cannot get into better relationship next. And that is the reason we say don't get into rebound relationships. It is going to fail. You should wait before getting into next relationship. Now there are some tick marks, yeah, a client should have. There are going to be certain avoidance symptoms, then reactivity symptoms, and intrusion symptoms. You can read on your own. If the client shows some of them, you know that that is PTSD. But remember that there are always going to be symptoms, trigger factors, flashbacks, and one clear event, one or multiple clear events, which client remembers. All these three things must be there to identify or diagnose or label a person as PTSD. If you read this, some of the symptoms you will find in yourself. Then write down what was that traumatic event. So the traumatic event is living in my house as my spouse. Now, there is always going to be component of PTSD which doesn't get healed. It's okay. It's okay. Life is not a clean, smooth sheet of paper completely wrinkle-free. No. If it is crumpled, crushed, you need to open it and try to make it one of the pages of your notepad. But this is going to have wrinkles now. It's okay to have wrinkles. The object is not to smoothen it completely. The object is to use this pinch, use these wrinkles. Sometimes these wrinkles will have a new design. If you look at it in different angle, you will see, wow, this design is beautiful. You can paint across it. That is PTSD. So you may have certain event. You need to learn to convert your pain into mission of your life. To do something good around it. This thing can happen only if this crumpled piece of paper is opened up and little bit straighten out. It cannot happen on a crumpled piece of paper. So from crumpled piece of paper to straighten out piece of paper, that comes the psychotherapy. Now, after this piece of paper is straightened out, that is your willpower and that is your decision what you want to do with your life. Right? So if you have some event, you don't need to heal everything. Some events are good. You were called dumb in your class, you won the Nobel Prize. You were called completely without any artistic ability and you started Walt Disney. Yeah. Your girlfriend left you because you had mental episodes. You became the president of US. You were called poor by father of your girlfriend. You became rich. Yeah. One time you were removed from your basketball team because you were not good and you became international basketball player. You were fired from your company because you were not fit. You started your own company. You were not selected for any company despite going for 10 interviews. You started your own company. Right? So certain traumatic events are good. Those events which are causing you present turbulence, you need to heal that. And out of this, the crumpled piece of paper, once it is straightened out, has some wrinkles. You need to learn to use these wrinkles to your advantage or learn to live with these wrinkles. Don't run behind completely straightening out because if you focus on only one piece of paper, you're forgetting that there are other leaves also of your life. There are other chapters of your life. So this is very important for a client to remember that there are other chapters of your notepad. So who will remember this thing? Someone who has high education, someone who is economically well settled, someone who has a family, someone who is doing a job or a business. You understand? So why PTSD is common in soldiers? Because once they experience some traumatic event, they are retired. They have no work. So they will experience. Someone who comes from battle and again busy in active duty or training or get into some civil role, they don't develop PTSD or less likely to develop PTSD. So if you remember that there are other chapters of your life, not only one page, then you will less likely develop PTSD. So as a psychology counselor, it is your role to remind the client that you have PTSD. This is an event you are experiencing and you will do this exercise with my help. It will take this much time. You will visit me for next 3 months, 6 months, and some wrinkles are going to be there. Most important, do not forget the other chapters of your life. That is the role of counselor. The role of psychotherapist will be three role: increase the emotional bank balance, erase traumatic memories, and replace traumatic images with good images by experiential psychotherapy, psychodynamics, and neuroplasticity, which you learn in Sunday classes, which is a separate program, not part of your present program. Please ask questions. After this, there is a story in the book. In this book, after this PTSD chapter, there is a story. Each one is special. Yeah. So you want to hear that story? Once there was a young boy. He lost his one hand, left hand, in an accident. And he used to aspire to become a kung fu or a judo specialist. Yeah. A fighter, a warrior. But now he gets so depressed, he gives up, he throws his life that now one hand is gone, cannot become the fighter. Yeah. Cannot fight, cannot win the battle. How I'm going to do it? So he lands up in PTSD. Then one day he visits his old master just out of respect. And the master asks, how is your training going on? So this boy starts crying and says that, Master, you are making fun of me. You know that I lost one hand. How can I continue my training? So the master says, I will teach you only one move. You focus only on that part of the training. Yeah. So the master tells the client, teaches this student only one move. And the student does not believe that this move is going to win him. Yeah. He's always like, huh, I have learned 100 moves and could not win. It was a tough battle, and this one move will win me. And this move is very simple, very easy. Anyone can defeat me. I can defeat myself. He's like that. He's convinced that he's going to get defeated. But then he lands up in some tournament. And he uses this move because he knows only one move now. He can do one move with one hand. And he defeats the opponent. He's like, he himself is shocked. Everyone is shocked and he himself is shocked. How is this possible? How did I win? How did I win? Yeah. And then he goes to the master and he asks that, Master, how did I win? So master says, the counter to this move is to hold your left hand and then push you. But he doesn't have the left hand. So there is no counter to this simple move. So sometimes the simple things in life that helps you. That simple thing may be new study, learning new skills, maybe focusing on yourself, maybe trying to connect with the nature, trying to connect with your hobby. That simple thing may be very simple. And the act of learning the Kung Fu itself heals you. You do not need to get into the tournament. The tournament will make you realize that, yes, you have already overcome your PTSD. So you don't wait for the tournament to happen. And here, if imagine if the boy put an artificial hand, yeah, that was the option. Yeah, you would have got defeated. So similarly, you don't want a crumpled piece of paper to be completely straightened out. Let some wrinkles be there. Yeah, you want this to be title of your book. Let this some wrinkles be there. So if you are interested to write the book, you can talk to me. So I sponsor the platform heart2paper.in, where you can write your essays, stories, poems, chapters, and publish it. There is no cost for you. For others, there is a cost. If you want to full-fledged publish your book, there is a cost involved for offline book. You can talk to me for that. Whatever you do, today visit Amazon, buy this book. Letter to student. I can send you gift, but if I send you gift, you will not read. If you buy it, you will definitely read. Those who have bought it and read it, how's your feedback? So they are posted on the Amazon itself, and still you can write it here. So this book will not heal your PTSD, but it will develop your better bond with your parents and your children, with you as a good parent. This book probably will help you overcome your PTSD. 50%, that's enough actually to get back to life. Now there is a question by one of the students, what if this trauma is coming, repeated trauma is coming because of the bad marriage? There is a very little hope from this counseling then. You can use only two methods then. One is the pillow, not this way. You can use the pillow and cover your ears actually. Some people use it the wrong way also, and we push the pillow on someone else's face. So I don't recommend that. But so. Or second is you can read this book, and so this book gives you, equips you with the test, 25 tests to identify what is the problem between a couple. And you start helping other couples. When you learn this book and this course, marriage relationship counseling, you become a marriage counselor. So you convert your bad marriage to money earning source to earn more money to help more women fighting like you, or men, sometimes men. And do the 25 relate pillar test to understand what is the problem between couple: compatibility, respect, trust, uh, common goal sharing, parenting style, financial decisions, all those. And to solve the problem, there are more than 300 couple activities to solve the problem with the couple, right? So traditionally, marriage counselors, they talk only from their own wisdom. They don't know what to do. But when you use this relate pillar tools, which more than 500 marriage counselors, including many divorce lawyers, they have learned from us, they use these tools to identify what is the problem between the couple, and to solve the problem, they use more than 300 to 500 couple activities. So for each relate pillar, there are 15 to 20 couple activities. Very good. So there is a question that how to help a child in the home environment who is suffering from this symptom, especially from the parent side. So the child is at home. The parents are the cause of the suffering of the child. So this parent cannot help now. So I'm assuming the other partner is causing the trouble, right? So you need to change this partner. You need to change this parent, get out and buy a new parent, replace that other. Sorry. so, uh, so replace that other parent, or you need to tell this child that you need to isolate yourself emotionally. Do not interact with this person. Okay. And as another parent, you will need to take very strongest steps to do that, to isolate this child from this person. Number three, as a parent, there is a limited scope for you to counsel the child because the child will not reveal everything to you. And the child may not trust everything what you say. But you need, if you go to an expert, a child counselor, psychologist, sorry, child psychologist or a psychotherapist, then they reveal certain things. The child psychologist is trained on managing such cases. And when you visit the psychotherapist who is trained by us, who learns in Sunday classes, they will use these methods, which are our copyright methods, for erasing traumatic memories, replacing traumatic images, increasing emotional bank balance. You will learn neuroplasticity, experiential psychotherapy, psychodynamics, CBT, and SCBT. So when you use these methods, this works on children, this works on adult, both. These are our copyright methods, so they are not available outside. So because you are the one who is using them on the client, so client refer more clients. You will have a healing plan of 10 sessions. When you do counseling, you have a typical plan of 1 or 2 sessions. But when you do psychotherapy, you will have a healing plan of 10 sessions. So if the cause is something else, you will learn there. You can find those answers in the book as well. When you read this book, you will find answer to some of your questions there. Let the book come to you. Questions? Or you want to see the painting? Questions? Okay. So if you want this notepads, you can WhatsApp me. I will send you. Yeah. So the cover has different things. I will ask you something. Not money, but I will ask you something else. More than money. You will learn, dear. Once you read the book, you will get this answer, dear. Wait. Go with the flow. You are long time, dear. Or you can watch the recording from my channel. So there is a playlist of history taking. There I have mentioned certain steps when the client is not trusting you, when the client is reserved and not opening in front of you. What are the steps you should take to open up the client? So there is a playlist of history taking videos. You can watch from the playlist on my channel. My channel link is there in the catalog of my WhatsApp business profile. Yeah. Yeah. Now there is one question. Clients with multiple issues, from where we will start? So what is it that is affecting you most? What is it that is fresh? So you have a jungle. Yeah. There are grass, shrubs, plants, huge trees. Where do you start? If you start at the tree, it is going to take time. It will take a lot of efforts. It will need tools. Difficult. You will give up. Start with something fresh. Grass. Start with something easy. Start with something less. Okay. This approach works better. Sometimes some people start with most difficult traumatic event. That is difficult to heal, dear. Yeah, it takes time. So you need to educate the client that see this, there is no magic. Yeah, I'm not a magician, but I'm a very good psychotherapist. Whatever money you are going to pay me, that is worth. So you take 10 sessions from me, I'm going to heal you. And you tell them what is your plan, healing plan for those sessions. So the student who has asked the question, she is already attending Sunday classes. And this question is from her own life. So you will get healed here in Sunday classes yourself. And you will learn these methods to heal other clients also. And you have already taken the PhD and your topic is the same topic. What is your difficulty or the pain of your life to convert it as a purpose of your life? So you're already on the path of getting healed. Any questions anyone has? Good questions. 30 seconds for asking question. Then you know after that what I'm going to say. Yeah. It can be some from some any topic, no problem. You can ask question. You can ask some stupid or foolish question. I'm okay. I will answer it very sincerely. I will not laugh. Yeah, I'm going to laugh, but I will answer it sincerely. Yeah. I cannot stop. Even if you ask serious question, I'm going to laugh actually. So I have a client whose husband has committed infidelity. So that also I'm going to laugh actually. Yeah. So if you ask stupid question and then I laugh, it's okay actually. No problem. But I will answer it very sincerely. Don't worry. And if you ask difficult questions, I'm going to say read the book. First read the book, then come back, watch the recording. If you wish to talk to me, my timing is Monday to Friday, 1 to 5 p.m. After 5 p.m., if you have anything, you can visit your nearest hospital. Yeah. See you on Sunday. Those who join the psychotherapy classes will meet on Sunday. Have a great time. See you then. Bye.